Just that. There we go.
Is that the whole thing?
Yeah. All right. Perfect. All right. Just gonna wait. So we get our people. All right. Hey guys. You're gonna need a backpack today. Week 2. Figured we use a backpack. You can stuff it with your textbook that we used last week or whatever you want, to be honest. I'm gonna give this notice as people come in a little bit early, so just gonna give everybody a second. You need a backpack today with some weight in it. Okay? Apart from that, my name is Adem. I'm a personal trainer here in Toronto. I work out of Parliament Street Fitness. I also work with Fitness Bound and my own brand at Train with Adem. And I want to thank Sheridan for allowing us to come together today to work out and sweat during this quarantine. Again, what you're going to need today is a soft surface, something you can be on. If you have hardwood, preferably something soft, but remember that you need to be able to grip it also. So if you're going to use like a blanket, just be careful. Maybe wear some shoes. You can wash the blanket, whatever. You're going to need a backpack. Figured I wanted to change things up this week. So let's do a backpack with some weight in it. You can use textbooks inside, whatever you want really. Certain stuff is going to have this backpack with one arm overhead, so fill it with weight that you know you can do that for 35-ish seconds. Remember that the pace that we take today is all up to you, so don't try to mimic me per se. Focus on the quality of your work. Don't worry about how fast I'm going or how fast you're going. Go at a pace that you know you can take. We're going to take the same format as last week. I'm going to change up the exercises, obviously, but same format, so 35 seconds worth of work with 15 to 20 seconds break in between as you go through the exercises. You need to do 3 complexes of exercises. Each complex has 5. So we're going to repeat one complex twice, then we're going to move on to the next complex, and so forth until the end. Just want to make sure that you can hear me here. Kind of change the setup a little bit. Hopefully it's all good. Again, you need backpack with some weight in it, enough weight that you can hold with one hand overhead. Now, if you can't and don't want to do single arm overhead because of your shoulder, you can adjust to have both hands, okay? Apart from that, if you want to win a chance at some money, $50 gift card, make sure you take a picture or a story with this workout inside it and tag _SSU. And apart from that, let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to run through, if you remember from last week, I said there's certain rules that apply when we're doing this workout together. Those rules still apply, okay? The knee mechanics, you still need to create that box I talked about. So your second and third toe on both feet are the bottom 2 corners of the box. Your inside of the kneecap here are the top 2 corners of the box. So what I mean by that is that every time we take a squat, for example, you got to recreate that box, okay? The other thing, just to go over again, and whenever I talk about driving down the core, I mean using the floor as a reference, okay? Legs up, arms up. For some of you, you'll probably notice that your low back arches off the floor. What I want you to do when we're doing anything on the floor is to think about taking your bottom rib cage and your belly button and forcing them down as hard as you can to match the floor in terms of being neutral, okay? I don't want that underground arch on your back, okay? To start the movement. So let's say we do a crunch with your legs down. I want you to think the starting of that momentum is by driving down onto the floor with that rib cage and that belly button, tensing up that contraction, and then using that momentum to come up, okay? Now, just want to check what this says. Perfect. Okay. All right. We're going to start, remember, backpack with some weight. All right. First complex is going to be, we're going to actually have the backpack on. Put it on your back. All right. We're going to start where we left off last week. So the first complex is going to be a squat. Okay. 5 squats to a walkout. Now you can tap something if you want. If you don't have anything to tap, don't worry about it. Just come to right into that push-up position. And you're gonna walk right back up and go right back into the squats, okay? Remember the squat mechanics with your knees. Number 2 is gonna be lying leg lifts. Be on the floor. This time we're gonna have some support. Remember what I said about driving down on the core, okay? So legs are gonna come down to a range that you can control while keeping that back neutral. Then we're gonna put it back onto our backs into alternating forward lunges. Still knee mechanics apply here, both the front and back knees, okay? Then we're gonna go to single arm overhead sit up. Now this is the one I was talking about where if you aren't comfortable with your shoulder holding this overhead with one arm, then do it with 2, okay? So what I mean is that we're gonna have the wrist stacked right on top of your shoulder, one arm out to support yourself here. You're gonna bend your right knee, okay? Have the feet flat, right foot flat on the ground. And I want you to think about driving down on the pelvis to come up and push this overhead, okay? Your arm's gonna be straight and stacking the shoulder the whole time. So you're gonna do a sit-up while maintaining this overhead. Then last but not least, we're gonna go and put that back down. You can take your hands and put it underneath your low back if you need to, and we're gonna do flutter kicks. Now with the flutter kicks, you're gonna take an angle that you can maintain that neutral spine, okay? All right, anyways, we're gonna get started. Those are the first 5. Put that backpack on. And ready, set, go, okay? 5 body weight squats. Take your pace. Don't worry about anybody else. And walk out. And walk back in. Remember the rules with the knees. You got 16 seconds. Keep going. Walk out. 7 seconds. Come on. Good. And we're on the floor. Take off the backpack. I want that neutral spine. So start with your legs up so you can find that low back is driving into the floor. And then I want you to hold that contraction and that neutral spine as the legs lower, okay? In 3, 2, 1. Go down to a height that you know you can control that low back. Okay? Keep this directly over top of your shoulders. Wrists are over top of your shoulders. But your main focus is driving down with the core. Okay? Belly button is driving down. Low rib cage driving down. You're trying not to let your low back come up at any point. And focus. 5 seconds. Come on. Good. Coming up, put the backpack back on. Alternating forward lunges. Okay, remember the knee mechanics still apply here. So when you take that forward lunge, the inside corner of your knee needs to be on your second and third toe in line, okay? Ready, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna alternate here, okay? You can take whatever you want to do with your hands. Don't worry about that. Focus more so on your knees. Your hips are facing forward. No rotation in the hips. Okay? What I mean by that is that these hips can be rotated like this. And you keep it facing in the same direction as your knees and feet. This still applies to both your front and back foot also. You need to be facing in the same direction. Good. 5 seconds. Good. On the floor, this is the single arm. Grab that backpack by a handle. Your shoulder or your wrist is stacked right on top of your shoulder the whole time, okay? The whole time. We're gonna do it on the left side for right arm first. And drive down the pelvis and the core to come up and slowly come back down, maintaining that stacked wrist and shoulder as you come up, okay? Make sure you're thinking about driving from the core. Think about squeezing that core in order to come up. Come on. 10 seconds. Keep those shoulders stacked. 3 seconds. Good. And put this to the side. We're gonna go with flutter kicks. Remember, you can have the arms out wide or directly underneath your low back. It's up to you. I prefer out wide. If you're gonna go out wide, put the palms up so you're not trying to cheat here by holding yourself steady with your palms down, okay? Legs up. Come down to a level that you know you can maintain that low back, being neutral to the floor, and flutter. Keep going. Come on. 19 seconds. If you want to make it interesting, you can go up and down as long as you can maintain the range along with the neutral spine being stuck to the ground. Okay? Keep going. 5 seconds. Good. And coming back up, put that backpack back on. And we're going back to the beginning, okay? One more time. You got this. 7 seconds. Make sure you're breathing in between this. You're trying to control your heart rate, okay? And let's go. 5 squats. Watch those knees. And walk out. And 5 squats. Watch those knees. Good. Keep going. 9 seconds. You got this. Last walk out. Good. Then we're going to the floor. Lying leg lifts. Remember, neutral spine. Remember that in between these exercises is your opportunity to get control of your heart rate. Breathe. Control that breathing. We've got 3 seconds. Keep going. Drive down on the core. Come on. You got this. Control the range. 5 seconds. Good. Coming up, put the backpack on, alternating forward lunges. Remember, knee mechanics, when you take that forward lunge, stack your knee to your second and third toe, same thing. And the same thing applies with the front and back foot, okay? Go. So your back foot should not be rotated out, should be facing forward. Take a pace you can control. Keep going. Ten seconds. Watch those knees. 3 seconds. Good. Single arm sit up. Okay, we're going with the left arm this time. Right hand for support. Palm down. Left foot flat on the ground. Bend those knees. And you're going to drive this up. Shoulders stacked, okay? Shoulder is stacked. Go. Good. Drive it up. Keep going. Keep that wrist stacked as best you can on top of that shoulder. Remember that you're starting the momentum from the core. Drive that core into the ground to create momentum. 3, 2, 1. Good. Then we're going to put this down. Let's go into the flutter kicks. You're on your back. This is the last one of this complex. Remember, arms out wide, palms up, or underneath your low back if you need help trying to figure out if your low back is driving to the ground, okay? All right, flutter kicks, go. Come down to a range that you can control. And remember, you can go up and down if you want, as long as you can maintain that low back. I don't want that low back coming up. Keep going. You can take whatever pace on the flutter. You can go fast with it or slow, it's up to you. What matters is you're holding that driving down and tension in the core the whole time. That tension in the front should not disappear. Good. And grab yourself some water if you need it. Take a second here. The next portion I'm going to go through real quick is going to be starting with the plank get up. So you can do this either on your knees or in the actual plank position. Basically, you're going to go from the plank position to the push-up position. So remember that in the plank and in the push-up position, your joints should be stacked on top of each other. So your shoulder and your elbows should be stacked on the plank. And then when you're in the push-up position, you should be stacked in the wrist compared to your shoulder, okay? So plank get up, if you want to do it with your knees down, you can do your knees down. Basically, super simple. You're going to take your right hand or your left hand, put it right underneath your shoulder, and push up into the push-up position. Then bring yourself back down. Then alternate to the other side. Now, if you're going to do it in the push-up position or with your legs straight, this is what it looks like. Come down, switch sides, okay? Choose whichever one you want to go with in terms of knee down. Go with whatever you're capable of perfecting for 35 seconds, okay? Now, next, I'm going to go single leg Romanian deadlift to overhead press. What that means is that you're going to go back with the right foot, okay, into a single leg Romanian, which is this, okay? This weight is going to be in your hands towards the floor. You're going to come up to a knee balance and press overhead. Now, that's way too difficult. Just have both feet on the ground. Bend over, keep that back straight, okay? And bring it in close, push to overhead, okay? So choose which one you want to go with. Then we're going to go with the simple plank. All right, remember, draw in on the core and squeeze your glutes at the same time. Then lateral lunge with row. Now the same knee mechanics apply when you're going laterally. So what I mean by that is that when you're in this position, your inside knee here is still stacked with your okay? So I shouldn't see anybody's knee on that lateral lunge like this or too far out, okay? Stacked as if I'm getting flush with the wall. From my ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder should be all in line, okay? So you're gonna lateral lunge and row, okay? Alternate to the other side, lateral lunge and row. So if you look at my back, when I do that lateral lunge, I'm bent over, okay? And row. And then switch to the other side. Then we're gonna go down to the floor and go sit up to rotation. Okay? All right, let's get started. Ready? Starting with plank get up, set, go, okay? On the floor, plank position, hand underneath the shoulder and push yourself up, then bring yourself back down, switch sides. Remember to get that palm directly underneath the shoulder, okay? Think about pushing with the palm and the elbow simultaneously to come up. 8 seconds. Bend your knees on the ground if you need to. Come on. Let's go. Good. Single leg Romanian deadlift to overhead press. Remember, this is one leg going back, you're balancing, and then you're coming up and overhead, okay? The knee comes up. If you don't want to do that, bent over to overhead. Go. Single leg Romanian to balance, overhead. I got all these straps in my face. Keep going. Single leg Romanian to overhead with a balance. Remember, if that's too hard, take the balance element out of it. Stick to your capabilities. 3 seconds. Good. And we're going to the plank. Put the backpack on. Get control of your heart rate here. Breathe. Yeah, 9 seconds. Remember that your elbow should be stacked directly underneath your shoulder. Ready? Go. Hold out. Keep your core tight. Drawing up. So you're, imagine that the floor is on your back, just like when we're doing any of the core stuff. So you're drawing towards the floor. Since the floor is on your back, you're drawing up with the ribs and your belly button. Then tighten that position as you hold this plank. 10 seconds. Don't let your hips fall, and don't create a mountain with your hips. So I don't want to see you like this. I don't want to see you like this, okay? Keep going. Good. Then we're going with the lateral lunge. Take the backpack off, hold both ends. Remember, this is the one where you're trying to get flush with a wall. We're gonna add a row, okay? And then alternate to the other side. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Lateral lunge, row, alternate to the other side. Lateral lunge, row, alternate. Keep that knee mechanics in place. Get flush with that wall. You're driving the hip back and bending your knees simultaneously in order to go laterally and flush with the wall, okay? It might help if you want to just do one side up against a wall to make sure you're doing it right. Whatever you want. Keep going. Good. Then we're going to the floor. Grab each side. Basic sit-up to rotation, okay? Remember, I want you to rotate the chest. Don't think about rotating this weight and doing this. I want you to sit up and rotate simultaneously. So, ready? Go. Sit up, rotate to one side. Sit up, rotate. Now, if you don't want to do this with weight, don't do it with weight. Put the backpack down. Remember, this is for you and you alone. I want you to get through this with me. 15 seconds. Let's go. Drive down on the core to initiate the movement. Rotate as you gain momentum. And remember the thing about rotating the chest. Good. And we're going back to the beginning with the plank get up. You got 13 seconds to control your breathing. Put that backpack back on. And coming down, remember you can do this with your knees down or not, it's up to you. Knees down, it looks like this. And we're gonna go up. Good. Keep going. If you wanna have legs straight, it's up to you. Come on. You got this. Hold out. Come on. Good. And next we're going to the Romanian deadlifts. Remember, balance is optional. Okay? You're going back with the left this time. You're balancing on the right. Come down to a comfortable level, okay? And you're gonna pull this in close as you bring the knee up to overhead. Ready? Go. Remember that if you don't have the balance or trust yourself to do this, don't force it. Do it with both feet on the ground and push that hip back to bend over and then drive it in close to go overhead with a press. Okay? 10 seconds. Good. Woo! Now this is bag. It's a whole different element. Good. 18 seconds. Take a breather. Going with the plank. Put this on your back. Woo. Just when you thought you got rid of backpacks, when you met me. All right, 5 seconds. In the plank position. Go. Remember, elbows directly underneath your shoulder, core tight as if the floor is on your back. So you're driving up towards the floor. Okay? Trying to keep that neutral spine. Don't let that hip drop. You got 18 seconds. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. 10 seconds. Come on. 5 seconds. Hold out. Good. And lateral lunge. Take the backpack off. Start in the middle of your mat. Remember, your aim is to get like flush with the wall. So your ankle, knees, hip, and shoulder on the one side should line up. Ready? Go. Lunge, row. Lateral lunge, row. Remember that the hip is going back, and that's the reason you're coming forward. So your back is straight. I don't want to see you bending that spine in order to come forward, okay? It's the hip hinging back, which allows you to come forward. Good. Keep going. 8 seconds. Let's go. Good. And last one, sit up to rotation. You're going to be on the floor. And then I'm going to explain complex 3. Remember that you're starting from the core, driving down to create momentum, and rotating through the momentum, okay? Remember to rotate with the chest. 3, 2, 1, go. Rotate. Drive down. Using that momentum, you're going to continue upward and rotate simultaneously. Don't worry if your feet comes up. Don't worry if you need to go further out with the feet. Just pick whatever stability you need in order to get up. Now, if the only range you got is this, that's it. Push it, okay? Good. Sit up and rotate. Good. All right. Next, you got a big break here. The first exercise that we're going to do for this last complex, again, this is another one where it has a single arm. If you don't want to do the single arm, use both hands. Okay? So, squat to single arm press. So you're going to have this directly on the shoulder like this, as if you're holding the handle on the back here. Okay? And you're going to squat down, following those same rules, those knee mechanics, okay? Box. And then as you come up, you're going to push overhead. Bring it back down, and squat back down. Push. Okay? Remember, if this is too much, hold it here, and squat to overhead. All right? Number 2 is V-sit rotation. So you're going to hold the V-sit and rotate. Remember, rotating the chest, so it's a small range of motion. Then we're going to go overhead, holding this position, okay, both hands. And you're going to go reverse lunges and alternate, okay? Remember that the knee mechanics here are the same. Then we're going to go and put this on our back. And we're going to go side to side push-up. So what that means, I'm going to show you this way first. You're going to have either in the push-up position or knees on the floor. Put your hands together like this, and then you're gonna step out just a little bit outside shoulder width, okay, to one side, so we'll still say the right side, and you're gonna give me a push-up. Then you're gonna bring it back together, go out to the left side, and a push-up. Stick to whatever range you can control, okay? Then we're gonna go last but not least, hand to toe reach. This one's gonna have the backpack off. Now last week we did cross body. You can do that if you feel like you don't have control over this movement, okay? But what I want you to try today is both hands overhead, both legs out, reach, and I want you to come up together as if you're trying to touch your toes. You're not gonna actually have to. What I want you focusing on is driving down with the core to create enough momentum to drive up. Okay, whatever that might look like for you. For some it might be this, for some it just might be that. That's it, okay? I want that driving down as hard as you can to create enough momentum that all your limbs come together. Okay, good. All right, we're gonna get started here. So first one, is squat to single arm press. And just gonna get my timer ready. And ready, go. So on your shoulder here, squat to overhead, okay? Squat to overhead. Single arm stacked right over top of the shoulder is your wrist on that extension, okay? Remember that the box needs to be created every time. Core is tight. Good. Push those knees out and squat to overhead. Come on. Keep going. 5 seconds. Good. And we're going to the V-sit with rotation. Breathe here. 14 seconds. Breathe, breathe, breathe. 10 seconds. Remember that if you can't keep your feet up, just put them down and lean back till you feel your core, okay? So, V-sit and rotate. Let's go. Remember that you're trying to rotate the chest. Don't worry, I don't want to see anybody doing this. All right, let's just literally move in your arms. I want you to think about how your chest is attached to your trunk, which activates your obliques by rotating. It will also tell you how far it can go. It will feel like there is no more range. As you rotate, it'll feel like you're hitting like a wall. That's exactly how far your obliques can go. Good. Then, you're gonna hold this overhead, okay? Both hands, and this is the reverse lunge, okay? Take a second here, remember that knee mechanics still apply. If you have trouble with the knee mechanics, do it in front of the mirror. That way you can see it. Okay? Alternating reverse lunge. Core tight. This stays directly over top of you. If you have range of motion issues with your shoulder, just keep it right in front of the chest. Okay? Keep that hip forward. Don't let it rotate as you reach back. Knee mechanics still apply here. Both feet facing forward. And don't worry about touching the floor with your knees. Come down to whatever's comfortable. Good. Put the backpack on. This is the side-to-side push-up. All right. Knee to the ground. Hands together. And you're going to go side to side. I'm going to go this way so you can see it. All right. And go. Shoulder width, or just outside shoulder width to one side, and the other side. Make sure your knees are on something soft so you don't hurt yourself. And keep going. Try to pull your shoulder blades together as you come down so that the front sides of your shoulders aren't rotating forward. Okay? You're pulling your shoulder blades together in order to come down. Imagine there's a pencil between your shoulder blades and you need to pinch it as you come down. Good. And last but not least, take this off. We're going to go hand to toe reach. Remember, you can either do the alternating one, sticking to the cross body, but I want you to try both. I want you to try both hands, both feet, okay? Drive down on the core, go. Try to create enough downward force, trying to bring that lower rib to your hip. Trying to crunch that front side area in order, with enough force that it creates enough momentum that your limbs drive towards each other. So I want you thinking more to your center of your body rather than thinking of tossing your arms and legs. Okay? Good. And going back to the beginning, breathe. We're going to switch sides. This is the squat to overhead press. Remember, squat mechanics here. Throughout every squat movement, I want you to keep that core tight. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Squat to overhead. Squat to overhead. Good. Keep going. Come on. Keep it tight. 19 seconds. Remember, if you have shoulder issues, hold with both hands and push it overhead. If you don't want to push overhead, you can just have it in front of your chest. Just focus on the squat. Good. And V-sit to rotation. Get into that V position. Remember, if you can't keep your heels on the ground, off the floor, you can keep them on the ground, just lean back until you feel your core, okay? And let's go. Remember that you're rotating the chest in order to access the obliques. Okay? So it should be a way smaller range of motion. It should feel like you're not really twisting too much, right? Because there's only so far the obliques can stretch. 10 seconds, come on. Let's go. 5 seconds. Good. This is the overhead iso hold and a reverse lunge, okay? Remember that your hips are facing forward, both feet are facing forward when you step back, so none of this. And both knees are also forward, okay? 3, 2, 1. Go. Take your time, find that balance. Don't worry about trying to bring your knees to the ground. You want to keep that core tight, so I don't want you thinking about your back is overarched, okay? Keep that core tight so it keeps your back neutral during this position. If you feel like your arms are falling forward, that means you don't have the range of motion. Keep it right in front of your chest and hold it there. Good. And put the backpack on. Last two, okay? Make sure your knees are somewhere comfortable. Your hands are gonna be together. You're gonna step out to about this wide, okay, on the push-up. Ready? Go. Remember to pull your shoulder blades together to lower. You're gonna bring your hands together and then step out with the one hand in the direction you're going. Remember, pull your shoulder blades. In order to lower, your shoulders shouldn't be rotating towards the floor as you do this. Hold that pencil between your shoulder blades. Keep going. Good. And last but not least, you're almost there. Hand to toe reach. Now if you did the cross body, you're going to switch sides. If you didn't, and you were trying with both hands and both legs at the same time, keep going. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Good. Keep going. Drive down on the core to create momentum. Don't pick a landmark in terms of trying to reach for, let's say, your ankles or toes or something. Don't worry about that. I want you thinking about creating force in the core to lift the limbs to whatever height they're comfortable with. Come on, you got this. 3 seconds. Good. All right. Good job, guys. Thanks for tuning in this week. My name is Adam Balin. You can follow me at Train with Adam. That's ADEM on Instagram. If you want to win a $50 gift card, make sure you tag this story or make an Instagram story with this workout in it and tag _SSU. I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Sheridan, for this opportunity. Have a good one.